Misinformation, censorship, the dominance of tabloids, threats and pressures are just some of the problems that journalists face today. International media organizations have concluded that Serbia is a country where journalists face the strongest pressures from the government. My name is Jovana Otlokan, and today we are here to discuss about media freedom and attacks on journalists with the Ambassador of the United States, Mr. Kristofer Hil. Welcome and thank you for being here today.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure.
Firstly, how would you describe the current state of media freedom in Serbia?
Well, I think the state of media freedom in Serbia is not unlike many other countries. It's a progression, and clearly more needs to be done in terms of media freedoms, and also things need to be done in terms of protection of journalists. I think it's all, though, related to worldwide phenomena where I think there are people who simply don't like it when someone says something they disagree with. And therefore, I think throughout the world, including in my country, but every country, there needs to be a much more refined and clear demonstration of tolerance. You cannot expect everyone to agree with everything you said, but you have to agree with their right to say it. And as long as they're not inciting violence or something like that, you have to agree with their right to say it. And the best way to counter it is not by some violence or some intimidation, but rather by a better argument.
And how do social media platforms affect media freedom in Serbia, especially in a relation of the spread of disinformation?
There's a lot of disinformation out there. And I think the problem is going to get worse in the near term because of the emergence of all this artificial intelligence, which makes, as we call them in the States, deep fakes, something that's happening much more often. So this, I think, is a challenge. But I think more generally the problem of social media is a problem where there's an increasing segmentation of markets. So people only hear what they want to hear. They don't hear the other point of view. And I think that is a problem that has really caused a growth of intolerance worldwide, including, frankly speaking, including in Serbia.
And could you compare the current state of media freedom in America and Serbia?
I can't compare them. I will say that the U.S., we have a lot more experience on this. We have our problems, and no one should say that any problem is solved. But I think we have a much longer amount of experience, which is why we try to share some of that experience here. We have various U.S. embassy programs to bring journalists over here, to send journalists from Serbia over to the United States or to other countries to try to share those experiences. Look, we know that Serbia has its challenges, but I think it's important in this and other fields to say, is this country getting better or is it getting worse? And being an optimist, I tend to think that things, if they're not getting better yet, will get better. So I think we have to keep that kind of sense of optimism, and because with optimism, you can actually make progress, whereas with pessimism, you tend to go in the wrong direction.
So the Faculty of Philosophy in Novi Sad was blocked due to the manipulated video of the journalist and professor Dinko Gruhonjić. So what are your thoughts about those attacks against the Professor Gruhonjić?
You know, I don't know all the details of what happened here. I do know that people have a right to say what they want to say. And as I said earlier, the best way to counter something that someone says is to have a better argument. I do not support physical acts that aim to disrupt someone's right to say something. I think, as I said earlier, I think the key here is the sense of tolerance that we all need to do a better job of having.
And what role does international collaboration and support play in safeguarding media freedom globally?
I think you know, there are certain standards that we all try to aspire to. There are certain standards of behavior. certain standards of what media should be. Media is not there to spread rumors and misinformation. It's rather there to inform the public. And so I think some countries have a lot of experience with this. Every country goes through problems with media. So I hope we can do a better job of sharing experiences with countries that have less experience. So I think we at the American Embassy really try to do this here. We try to bring people from various media backgrounds and see if we can help.
And lastly, how does American Embassy support universities in Serbia?
You know, we'd like to do more, but within our capabilities, within our financial capabilities, it often comes down to those. We try to bring students to the United States. We try to look for partnerships between Serbian universities and U.S. universities. We try to look for situations where professors in the U.S. and professors in, say, Novi Sad might have some things to cooperate on and see if we can help get them together. We try to bring people together, and in bringing people together, I think we can overcome a lot of issues. But again, I just want to stress that we all want the same thing. We all do our best to achieve the same thing. Some countries are more successful than others, but I think we all want to do more.
So Mr. Hil, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Jovana, and this was the interview with the Ambassador of the United States to Serbia, Mr. Kristofer Hil.